Conversations and Cocktails. Today I'm going to be interviewing Lydia Ryan. She is a beautiful performance artist and has the Spa Opera Productions, does amazing productions with multiple artists, and I'm so looking forward to sharing her with you. So coming next, Lydia Ryan, Conversations and Cocktails at Cafe Racer. Hi, and welcome to Conversations and Cocktails at Cafe Racer. Today, as I mentioned earlier, we have Lydia Ryan, a brilliant performance artist and pianist. She has chosen a French 75, and the reason we chose a French 75 for her is because she likes tart, she likes gin, and of course, she loves bubbles. And so, here's our French 75. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Here we are. How is it?
It's excellent.
Amazing. Today Juan was our bartender, and he does a great job with French 75s. So, Mary, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think it's lovely to be able to introduce my community to the community at large. And I've known you for 3 years? I think 3 years. And we met, Mary and I met at a house concert that she was hosting with Willow and Tiger Zane and Lydia Ryan. And it was beautiful. And it was as though when we met, it was like love at first sight. And we've been being each other's confidants and close friends ever since. I feel really blessed to have you in my life. Yeah.
Thank you, same here.
Yeah. That was the first time that I saw Lydia Ryan perform, and the most recent time was here at Cafe Racer. But prior to that, it was on a huge stage with just a grand piano and her, and that was at the TEDx in Seattle. So it gives you an idea of the caliber of artists that Mary is. And so, how long have you been performing?
I began performing at 2.5 years old, and I don't recall the beginning because I just don't remember back quite that far, but that's the story that's been told to me, and I know that I just perform. That's just what I've done my entire life, and it's what I love. It's like breathing for me. I love to do it and to share and connect with people, especially through my music. That brings a lot of joy to me, and I hope always to them. That's my intent.
Yeah, I know. So one of the things that Mary does, besides being a brilliant pianist and creating productions that are amazing, let me tell you, they're amazing, is she does private performances in people's homes, a one-on-one healing sessions through her voice. And Spa Opera is the name of her production company. And I've had the pleasure of having her in my home to do a healing with her voice. And it's kind of Reiki meets sound healing, like the bowls, but she's doing it with her voice. And
A little bit of shamanic session in there naturally comes in.
Yeah. So I'm curious, so you've been performing since you were able to walk and practically just out of diapers. How did you come to do this kind of shamanic healing, unique sound work with your voice? How did you stumble upon that as a modality? Because it's amazing.
It has literally been stumbling upon the realization that my voice can be used to heal as well as using other modalities. And I have found myself over the last 10 years studying very woo-woo literature and finding that I resonated with a very woo-woo etheric world. And I personally was in need of bringing different modalities into my own life, into my parenting skills, into my own personal well-being. And I realized how quickly bringing in the woo-woo worked for me personally. And I just started experimenting with my voice, with the ethers and bringing them together. And I was very, very fortunate to find a local improvisational group of women that we kind of whittled our group down to 6, 7 of us at a time, and we would improv, and I would walk away from those meetings. We were usually together for a couple of hours, and I would walk away from each session a completely renewed person. And I knew, and this was just a couple of years ago that this started, I knew then that I wanted to combine my musical abilities on the piano, my joy of creating experiences for people in healing and for entertainment as well. I asked myself, how can I bring these elements together? And so I've been able to blossom this idea to both the stage for a crowd full of people, a room full of people, or I can bring it into somebody in their home, in their own space, and provide a very, very personalized, spontaneous healing production that's beyond a production. It's not really a production, it's what the universe is bringing in at the moment, and they get to experience that, and I get to facilitate that. And I absolutely love it.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. I mean, it is so beautiful. I have been, like I said, the recipient, and how it was set up for me, because it was private, was I was able to go horizontal. Mary set some chimes, some aromatherapy. Is there anything else?
We had salt lamps.
And salt lamps around. So it was definitely, there was some healing modalities going on. And then she just literally used her voice as she was putting energy over me where it felt right, the different tones in her voice. So it was just a changing of tone, and I mean, belting. If you've heard Mary sing, she's amazing. And I think even when it was private, just one-on-one in a healing session like that, it was life-changing for me. And if you hear Mary in a room full of people, the feedback that I always hear, besides feeling it myself, is that she's singing just for you. When she's using her voice, it penetrates each person as though the message that she's singing is just for them. So besides her piano music, which is brilliant, exquisite, and all the things, right? Her voice is just such a gift. Now, my question for you, one of my questions for you is, so with your music, have you ever experienced any blocks in moving forward with your music? Have you, with the rise of anything great, in my experience, there's some kind of stopping or blocking or something along those lines. And I'm wondering, because so many of us follow you, have you ever had a point where you felt blocked personally in your music?
I have to laugh because just the last couple of weeks I've been working so hard to get through such said blocks that I have experienced breaking through levels of over the years, and it's like everything. Our life is a learning process. I personally look at our individual lives as an art piece unfolding, and as I approach my life that way, when I'm able to remember and get back into that this is my life is an art piece unfolding, then I can get back into enjoying the process. And when those blocks do happen, they don't feel good, and I get really, really upset. However, I have learned that if I will have patience with myself and with those blocks and go internal and start asking myself in my connection with the universe, how is this helping me? How is this going to, what am I to learn from this? How can I gain insight? If this thing that I'm feeling blocked in isn't working, there must be some other way. And the last couple of weeks with this block that I have been feeling and been so perplexed, well, where do I go next? I have found so many answers by, again, going internally, I should say, and really, really taking a look at what do I truly want. And then realizing this other thing that I've been feeling so blocked in really is not what I want. And that has opened the floodgates, my realization, and I feel like the last 3 days have actually brought so many opportunities into me with my spa opera, both on a larger scale as well as these personal sessions that you are describing. And I have been so re-excited and reignited about it. I feel like this feels like my thing, my place. It's where I'm the most passionate. It's where I get the most excited to present to an individual or to a group. Doesn't matter how many people are in the room. I want to help people feel better.
Nice. And your music, your art is amazing, and it does make people feel better. It makes me feel better, and I've heard so many people say it makes them feel better. One of the other questions that I like to find out about is, as women in a patriarchal society, sometimes there's hardships around our femininity or our gender. And so I'm curious about that. And then with that also, culturally, we all come from a different cultural background. In the United States even, we come from different ethnic backgrounds, different religious backgrounds. We all come from our own little thing, right? And so I'm wondering, I know a little bit about your cultural background, and I'm wondering how your gender and your culture have either hindered you or helped you as you've grown and gotten to where you are today.
I strongly believe they both have helped me. They have been my education. They have been such amazing teaching points for me to recognize what I do want and what I don't want. I also firmly believe that, in my woo-woo etheric world, I really believe that I chose the place in which I came in this particular lifetime. And I feel very confident that I chose all of these scenarios for very specific reasons to help me to learn, to grow, and to assist me in some way. And so that's my journey. So I really have, especially for the last 10 years of my life, have taken the stance that I am me. This is my authentic self. I'm here to have this experience. How can I also help other people have a good experience? And those are the parameters I'm working with. Not that, I'm female and that I've had this or that happen or not happen to me, or that, my background has been this or that. I've gotten through all those things. There have been moments, but I don't remember feeling what that was like, if that makes sense. I have been fortunate to be really solid in, I am Mary Lydia. This is my experience. I want to bring beauty and love and art into the world. How can I do this in this circumstance, in this place that I'm in at this very moment? Beautiful. And that's how it's unfolded for me.
Beautiful. And that, for me, that says Mary Lydia Ryan. Like, that is the antithesis, is that the right word, of what I know of you. And I love being in your presence. I love knowing you. I love being friends with you. So I feel grateful, and thank you for being here and letting me interview you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity as well, very much.
So Mary has performed at Cafe Racer and done one of her spa operas. It was Fairies.
It was titled The Wood Elves.
The Wood Elves.
Moonlight Serenade.
Oh, and it was amazing. Amazing. The place was packed. It It was so great. She brought in a hula hooper, a whistler, singers, and of course herself. And we are fortunate enough to have her back here on November 24th at Cafe Racer. She will do a winter themed spa opera here. And what else do you have going on coming up?
I have several dates locally, well, mostly locally. I'm heading to Portland in a couple of weeks
Okay.
with a couple of other singer-songwriters from the area, and we'll be at the White Eagle Lodge on July 14th. I also have been asked to perform. My trio will be at the Seattle Acoustic Fest, which is happening on August 25th. It's actually the 24th and 25th, and we will be performing at 1:30 p.m. in the sanctuary at the All Pilgrims, how do I say the name? All Pilgrims Christian Church, I believe, is what it is, on Broadway.
Okay,
So
All
there you go.
Pilgrims
Those are
Christian
the
Church.
upcoming
Nice.
dates.
Those are your summer.
Orcas Island will finish off our summer
Ah,
dates.
nice.
We'll be there for the Sunday before Labor Day.
Nice. Now, if somebody who doesn't live in the Northwest, wants to hear your music, how would they find you?
They can go to my website, which is www.IamMaryLydiaRyan.com.
Ah, nice. And what do you have? Do you have musical links? Can we link? Can we buy? What can we do there?
You can link from my website. You can read all about my life and who I am and my individual spa operas that I provide, my calendar dates, and you can listen to my music right at my website. There are also links to other streaming places that you can hear me through. Spotify, you can find me on Spotify, soon to be Pandora, and you can find me on Whispering Solo Piano Radio, which is a venue that what's the word? An online station that I really highly love to promote because they are a wonderful, wonderful organization.
Now, I'm curious about that one because so you are a classical pianist.
Classically trained.
Classically
yes.
trained, right. So the lovely healing work that you do is a gift to the world, as is your classically trained piano. And for me, they're one and the same and yet separate because your pianist, you are very renowned and well known in that world, and the spa opera world, the healing part is just, it's up and coming a little bit more.
It is,
so.
yeah.
And so the radio station that you mentioned, is that mostly classical piano?
That's all piano. It's all solo piano. It's not all classical, but it's mostly, but not all, original compositions, but from a wonderful, wonderful community of musicians that I have had the joy of sharing stage with and spending time with on a personal basis. And the community that surrounds that group is phenomenal. And if our entire world ran the way Whispering Solo Piano does, we would have no problems.
Beautiful. I love that.
I'll put in a kick for David Nevue, who is the director and creator of Whisperings.
Okay, I'm definitely going to that radio station. Thank you so much for joining me, not only on this platform, but in this world. I really love having you by my side. Cheers to you, Mary.
To you too. Thank you.
Love you. And so, that concludes our interview with Mary Lydia Ryan. And I will see you next week as we interview another artist, but she is a painter and her name is Marta, and I so look forward to seeing you next week. Ciao.